So this is a quick video to do with the fractions, decimals and percentages. So on the screen we have three different types. We've obviously got percentage, we have the fraction with the line, and then we have the decimal. And now we could be asked to convert these into the corresponding values. So this percentage might want to be put into a fraction, so it would be 103 over 100, and then we could write that as a mixed fraction potentially as well, so we get 1 and 3 over 100. We could convert this into a decimal as well, so 1.03, and I'll show you how to do all of these. This could be written as a fraction, so 11 over 10. It could be written as a percentage, so we could times that up by 100 to get 110%. We could double this to get 102 over 100, and then therefore that would be 1.02. I've written it too many times. Or it could be 102%. Okay, so we're going to be looking at how to convert. We could be asked to put things in order as well, so we'll look at that as well. So very quickly then, let's look at how to convert into a fraction. So this is all to do with place value on the actual grid. So I'm sure you've all seen it before, where we have tens, units or ones. We have the decimal point, then we have tenths, hundredths and thousandths, etc. So you should know that from primary. So we know that the 0.8 is going to be in the tens column, so we're going to have 8 over 10, and then ideally we want to simplify it so we can divide both those by 2 to get 4 over 5. So the place value's changed now, so it's over 100. So again, we can cancel that down by dividing it by 2 to get 4 over 50. We can divide it by 2 again to get 2 over 25. And then the last one, we have 85. This time the place value is 1,000. And again, we could divide each of those by 5. So I'm going to end up with 17 over 200. So if you want a quick go on the other side, then pause the video. And there's the answers to check. So very quickly, converting a percentage into a fraction. Now we all know that percentage is out of 100, so all of these values are going to be over 100 to start with. Then obviously we want to try to cancel down again if we can. So we're going to have 3 over 50, 66 over 100. We can divide again by 2, so that's going to give me 33 over 50. And then 600 over 100, we could divide it all by 100, so we're going to end up with just 6. Okay, if you want to pause the video, then have a quick go, you can do. There you go with the answers, so you can check. And then converting a decimal to a percentage is relatively straightforward. So 0.37, we're going to times that by 100, so we're going to end up with 37%. Make sure you put the percent on, because then that signifies that you have times that by 100. So obviously on the other side we're going to do 0.38 times 100 to get 38%. Nice and straightforward. Obviously the reverse of that is to divide by 100 to get back to the decimal. So let's have a quick practice. If you want to pause the video, see if you can fill in the gaps from these all conversions. If you're not sure, like the 1/8 one here, okay, you might need to use the bus stop method on how to convert that into a decimal to start with. So pause the video and have a go at that. And there are the answers, so you can check. So you're going to be asked to put things in order. So we obviously need to have the same format as what we are looking for. So personally, I'd always convert into a percentage. It's easier to order than a fraction, and decimals, sometimes people get themselves in a mess, but if you prefer to have a decimal, then you can use that. So the 3/8, you might want to use the bus stop method to convert into a decimal to start with. So 8s are going to go on the outside. I'm going to put 3 with some extra zeros in, and I'm going to use the bus stop method to then work through. Okay, so you can convert that to a decimal if you wanted to, so 37.5%. And then we have 35% already there. We can convert 36 into a percentage if you prefer. A third, we should know, a third is 33.3%. The 0.4 we can times up by 100, so we get 40%. And if you convert this into 30 over 100, we can see that that's 30%. Now once you've got them all into the right format, we then have to put them in order. So let's go for ascending order. So we're going to put them from smallest to bigger, so they're getting ascending, bigger. Okay, we have to put them in the right format. So we're going to start with the lowest, which is obviously the 30%, which is 3 over 10. Now, just tick them off as you go through. Once you've got that one, the next one up is going to be the 33%, which we didn't have to convert. Then we've got the third. Then we've got 35%, 0.36, 3 over 8, and 0.4. So there is a question if you want to have a go. You can do, pause the video and have a try. There's the answer in ascending order. If you wrote it descending, then it's going to go the other way. Okay. I hope that video helps in a little bit of fractions, decimals and percentage conversion. And if you want to have more practice on Hegarty, it's broken down into sections on the different conversions. So Hegarty is 72 to 76 and then 82 and 83. You have to have a look and see which one is the one you want to practice. So moving on to calculations with fractions, we're only looking at adding and subtracting. Obviously they're different levels, so the easier level is when we have two separate denominators. We have the same method for both effectively. The denominator must be the same, so we can't just add or subtract going across, and we are going to use equivalent fractions to help us with that. So we're going to find a common denominator. So the first one we're looking at 12. So we're going to times this side by 4 because my denominator on the other side is 4. Timesing this side by 3 because the denominator on the other side is 3. And then I can calculate, so this is going to be 8 and 3. Add the numerators together and not the denominators, so that's going to give me 11 over 12. Same process with subtraction. So because that's a 2, we're going to times this side by 2, so we're going to get 4 over 6. Timesing the other side by 3, because that's the 3, so we're going to get 3 over 6. And then we can subtract through from that to give us 1 over 6. And that's the process we have to follow all the way through. Now, as the questions get trickier, the questions might have a mixed or an improper fraction in there, so we want to be able to convert. So if you have 3 and 4 over 7, you're going to do the 3 times the 7, and you're adding on the 4, and then the denominator is going to stay the same. So that's going to be 25 over 7. And then equally coming back the other way, we're going to think in our heads 43 divided by 6 is 7 remainder 1. So that's going to be 7 and 1, and the denominator again stays the same. So using that then goes on to the harder questions. So ideally we want to convert first to an improper fraction, because when we start to look at multiplication and division, we ideally want to convert with those. So the same method would be nice, so convert first, then solve using the same method as before. So this is going to give us 19 over 5, and then 5 over 3. We're then going to find that same denominator. So we're timesing this side by 5, so I get 25 over 15. We're timesing the other side by 3. So again, 15. 3, so we're going to have 30, 57. And then from there we can add up the numerators. So we're going to have 82 over 15. And then you can convert back. So that will give me 5 and 7 over 15. So the same process on the other side. If you want to have a go on your own, you can do. So convert to start with. So 16 and plus the 7 is going to give me 23 over 8 and 9 over 5. We're going to times by the 5. That's going to give me 115 over 40. And we're going to times this side by the 8. So I'm going to get 72 over 40. And then we're just going to subtract from that. So that's going to give me 43 over 40, which is 1 and 3 over 40. So if you want a quick practice, then by all means have a go at these questions, or the Hegarty video is 65 and 66 to have a go. I hope this helps. Well done for listening.